inspiring. I think it's inspiring because a lot of times, people we have so much like filter,
Mhm.
and honestly, I feel like I used to be like that a lot. And then I did start getting into a lot of trouble, and I was like, yeah, maybe I need to shut up a little bit. But then, I'm like, I like that part of you because you're just showing up as like your true, authentic self. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to our podcast. Thank you so much for joining us again. So today we have a really fun topic. We wanted to actually change it up. We
Yeah.
wanted to change it up because usually we have a topic that we um, focus on. And today we want to get a little bit more personal and we're going to be interviewing each other. Fatmata and I, we're going to kind of give you guys a little bit of intel on our story, how we think, a little bit of like personal things that we've never shared with you guys before. So this should be a fun kind of girls chit chat in a way, if you will.
It's
So
definitely gonna be a chit chat, asking personal questions and stuff like that. So I'm excited.
yeah, definitely. So we do have like some couple of questions that we wrote down, but we're honestly just gonna kind of freestyle and just make it as personable as possible.
Yeah. And before we get started, one thing that we want to add is that our channel is for adoption. And I know sometimes our topics can make it seem like we don't like adoption and that or that it shouldn't happen. We are about adoption. That's what we want. That's why we created this channel. And also, if you are an adoptee who's looking to tell your story on a platform, let us know. Email us at adoptedgals.com or make a comment, and we would love to have you on. All right, now, question number one. This was kind of a little serious. How did your shared experience? Hold on. How did your shared adoption experiences initially bring you closer together? Bring us close together.
Wait,
I
the way
mean,
you just asked that was very confusing.
okay, I'm sorry.
How did us like our adoption story kind of bring us together?
Yeah, how did our adoption,
Oh yeah.
experiences bring us
Yeah,
closer?
yeah. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. I mean, whenever I talk about you, Fatmata, and I like tell people about you and your story, I'm like, basically just imagine my story with another person. Like we literally have such similar upbringings, right? Because we were both from Sierra Leone, we're both in the same orphanage, we were both went through a lot of similar traumas and experiences. Obviously we had different lives before we went to the orphanage, right? But
Mhm.
for the most part, we just like have very, very much of the same story and storyline. And so I think that in it of itself kind of created that bond for us, even though we weren't like super close in Sierra Leone. When we
Mhm.
got adopted and moved to America, knowing that we shared such similar experiences, we knew that there was at least one other person who understood. Like,
Yeah.
like knowing you, I'm like, damn, I'm so grateful for Fatma. So like, I can talk to her about anything, like, and she'll understand when it comes to adoption. And also, I really love the fact that so our parents, our moms basically knew how important it was for us to stay connected with each other after we got adopted.
Mhm.
Although Fatmata got adopted and she moved to Minnesota, I was in California. Our parents thought that it was just crucial for us to continue to see each other and stay in each other's lives. So I would visit Fatmata. I visited her like a few years back to back every summer. And that was just so much fun for me. Like I don't even think you know how like grateful I was for that opportunity to see you, your family.
Mhm.
And it just felt like I had a sister, that I didn't have to explain anything to. You understood everything. So I'm really
Yeah.
grateful. I'm grateful that um, I have one person that I can say, okay, this girl gets me.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, honestly, everything that you said was what I was gonna say. At the end of the day, what we've experienced, one of the special things that Howard and I have, and also other adoptees, when you meet our adoptees, you're gonna have this special connection where there's certain things you don't have to explain when it comes to this experience. People just your other adoptees are going to understand. without you
Yeah.
having to like explain why you feel like this, why you're going through this experience, and feeling like you're kind of floating around the world. And if you say that to like an adoptee, they're like, I get that feeling. But I just feel like overall our experience has just kind of made us so much closer together.
Mhm.
Even outside of like adoption, just our friendship and who we
Yeah.
are, it's more like, it's not even like friendship, it's like more sisters now.
Yeah.
Anything. And we just share personal things about it with each other, outside of adoption, things that we're going through in life. If I'm going through something, I'm gonna call Howard and vent and all that stuff. And if she's going through something, she's gonna call me and vent. So
We'll
this whole,
fly all the way to Florida and stay with you.
yeah, definitely fly all the way here. Oh, something is wrong. Okay, girl, just come over. It's fine. Just come over. We'll deal with everything else. Just come over. So that's the kind of friendship that we have. That is, there's so much beauty in it, and I think there, how we were adopted together was meant to be. God did it like that
Yeah.
because God knew we were going to be going through certain experiences, painful experiences. He had us in each other's lives to be able to give comfort to one another. That is one thing that me being spiritual, that I think about, because I don't think anything in this world is a coincidence at times. That's just how I feel. So I
Yeah.
think that was intentional in that.
And the crazy part about it is that um I'm not that close with anybody. I know we both know
Mhm.
other people that are adopted, right?
Mhm.
And we've seen some of those other people. I mean, you even had siblings, right?
Mhm.
And whatnot. So you engage with those people. And same thing with
Mhm.
me. There was other set of family that I used to visit every single summer because they also lived in Minnesota. So I
Mhm.
would go from Scott Motz's house and I would go visit the other set of families, but I'm not close to any of them. And so somehow, maybe it's because we were in the same age group.
Yes.
We had similar interests. Like we're really into like girly things.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I mean, even the first like Fatma's first birthday party, like she had like a princess
Mhm.
theme. I know a
Yeah.
lot of little kids do that, but it just goes to show like we had a lot of similar interests, and even to this day, I think we still do.
Mhm.
Um, so maybe that's what kind of made us like
Mhm.
out of all the group of kids who got adopted from Sierra Leone, like stay close to each
Mhm.
other and connect with each other. Because I don't think anyone else really has a relationship
No.
with other people who got adopted from Sierra Leone. So
Yeah,
yeah,
no, I like that. And the funny thing is, in the orphanage, we weren't even friends.
we weren't.
We weren't friends at all.
I mean, but
We,
Marco may have been a little bully for all I
yeah,
know.
admitted
Just
to being
joking.
a little bully at times, and I apologize.
Just
Yeah,
joking.
we were young, okay? I apologize. But it's just crazy how we then came back, and now here we are, and how much we support each other. It's just crazy. It's incredible. So now I have this.
Yeah.
Now that we are in this flow of conversation, the next fun question is, who is more likely to cry during a heartfelt conversation?
That's a hard
I
one
feel,
because
huh?
oh,
Go
I
ahead.
don't know. Probably you? I don't know. I think so. I think it's you because well, it's funny because like you're like it's funny because you're emotional, but you're not very like I don't know. It's like give and take. Like it depends. I think also the topic that's at
Yeah,
hand, like stuff that has to do with family that's more sensitive to us. I think
yeah,
both of us equally.
yeah.
I know like during your wedding, like I was
Yeah, I
crying
was
like a
about to say,
little.
hold on a minute. You are too. I feel like that applies to you too, because
God,
the way you
yo,
started crying, you started crying when you were
I
giving the
was
girls the wedding, and then I started crying, and then we were both
falling.
bawling. Like
It was,
this.
yo, I couldn't even speak. Like I literally words could not come out when I was doing like the little speech, and I just started crying. And
We were literally
I
like.
was trying so hard. And then she saw me crying. She just started bawling. It was just
So I would definitely say both of us, and it definitely does depend on what it is for sure.
the
But
topic.
I would say that you and I definitely have like sensitive spots depending on what it is.
Definitely.
But yeah, when it comes to heartfelt conversations, I think both of us do have that at times.
Yeah.
But yeah, that whole like we were just
The
hugging each other
wedding
like,
thing was so fun. And you know what is so hilarious? The whole part about it is that at the end, one of the twins, the
Mm-hmm.
one who ended up getting married, I think her name was Carla or something. I don't know.
think it's Christopher. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Christopher's I guess like now wife, right? So
Mm-hmm.
she came to me afterwards and she was like, I just want to let you know, out of all the speeches, yours was the most beautiful. And I
Oh,
was like, that is so sweet, but I was just crying. I didn't even speak.
yeah, it was beautiful.
Didn't even like say and I literally just said, I am so happy for you guys. Congratulations. And then that was it. And I just started crying for literally
No,
5 minutes.
it may have felt like you were just crying the whole time, but it was like words that were so deep and meaningful that you were saying through
Yeah.
that. And I feel like nobody truly understood how deep that was between us.
Yeah, it
Um,
was very, very deep.
you know,
Yeah.
from being adopted to here and all the different life experiences that we've gone through with each other, nobody's
Yeah.
truly understood how deep. When you said, I think you said something along the lines of we've been through so much together, and I
Yeah.
think that when both of us just started
Started to
crying more than ever,
it was like all the tears that we had inside just like
just
completely let
came
out.
flowing. But yeah.
That was a
Okay,
good question. I like that.
that was a really good question. Okay, so here's the next question. Have you ever felt disconnected from either your birth or adopted culture? And how do you manage those feelings? I guess I can start. I can
You want to
start.
start that one? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So this can be either your birth. Yeah, of course. I mean, being adopted from Sierra Leone at a very young age, losing my family, my culture, food, and everything, plucked from there and then put into a new culture. I lost everything. You know, we both did, meaning I lost my family, the food, I lost my language. I knew two different languages. So I lost that. The food was honestly the biggest thing for me because I love food. So this day I love food. I love African food. It's like such a comfort thing to me. So that was very hard to like connect, lose. And once I became older as an adult and I can do my own thing, get redefine my culture, find my culture again, and getting back to the food that I love, like I just like, oh my gosh, this feels like home again. I feel like I was gone for a little minute and I am back. So that one was for me was the biggest part where I was definitely disconnected from my culture. And of course, I mean, sometimes with adoption, you are going to lose your culture because you're living in a culture
Yeah.
where it looks like you. So that's a given.
Yeah.
And that's why we on this channel, how when I talk to adoptive parents to make sure your child's culture still stays in your home so they don't lose that because that's kind of like low-key like a death in that person
It
and
is.
that's how I feel. It's kind of a death.
It is
um
a death for sure.
yeah, what about you?
I mean, same sentiments, like we always say in this, channel is that adoption starts from trauma, from I guess like removal of identity, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so we had to learn how to rebuild our
Mm-hmm.
own identities, right?
Yeah.
For ourselves, because we had to figure out how we fit into this crazy world
Mm-hmm.
that, we've just been forced into. So,
Yeah.
of course, we felt this detached from, you know, our culture, like Famata was saying, the food, our family, our friends, um, who we were, what we knew of ourselves, right?
Mm-hmm.
I watch videos now of little small Hawa, small version of myself, and I'm like, wow, what would that woman have girl have grown up to be like, right? If she
Yeah.
hadn't gotten ripped, her culture and her identity ripped. And obviously it would have been a completely different, I think, being than the person that's sitting here doing this video. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it definitely was very, very challenging, I think, for both of us. And we went through a lot of ups and downs. Um, which we know, every single human being does go through, but
Mm-hmm.
we definitely had our own special set of challenges that
Oh,
were specific to adoption. So, Overall, very grateful for the journey because, again, everything is a learning experience, and we've learned so much about ourselves, about people, different cultures. So I couldn't really say I wouldn't, I regret, the adoption or anything like that. But
Mhm.
um, yeah, I feel like I'm going very deep in a different direction from the question. But
No,
yeah,
you're
overall, we've definitely had to overcome a lot and really learn what identity meant for us, not what identity, because it's not something that our adoptive parents could really teach us. You know what I mean? Like
right.
we had to be our own teachers in that way. So
We had to, yep, we had to learn it, relearn
mhm,
it, and reconnect back with our culture.
mhm.
So now for a fun question. Okay, let me see.
I like the fun ones. Bring them.
What
That was good.
right? What's one thing about each other that always makes you laugh?
Oh my gosh. I would say maybe not laugh, but I'm like, okay, I know this is Fatmata. She's going through her Fatmata, But when you get like really passionate about something, like you will go off. And it's like good things, bad things, people, and it's like, and I'm like, damn, like I didn't even know you had that much passion and purpose in there. So I think that's like, I would
I'm very expressive, girl. What can
she's
I say?
very expressive, and I'm just like, damn, like you can say that. I'm like, it's like no rules, but it's not necessarily like in a disrespectful way, but it's like, damn,
Mhm.
like you really just made me think about this, and I'm like, I didn't even know I could even say something like that.
It gets me in trouble though, girl, sometimes. Trust me. It gets me in trouble a lot online and stuff like that. But just be expressive.
Yeah,
Um,
no, but it's inspiring. I think it's inspiring because a lot of times, people we have so much like filter, like,
mhm.
and honestly, I feel like I used to be like that a lot. And then I did start getting into a lot of trouble, and I was like, yeah, maybe I need to shut up a little bit. But then, I'm like, I like that part of you because you're just showing up as like your true authentic self. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think sometimes people are just afraid to be just that, you know?
Mhm. Yeah. I mean, it took a long time coming. I was not like this before.
Yeah, I know. And
Just,
that's why I'm like really happy to see this side of you because I'm like,
yeah.
this new Fatmata, this is different. I got to get used to this one because
Yeah.
before you were like, oh yes, yes, you were very like much of a yes girl, and like now you're like, oh no, like this is how
Yeah.
it's gonna be. This is this, and I'm like, I love yes, give it to me. I love it.
Thanks, girl. I appreciate it. Like when you've gone through some things and you've gotten to a point where you've done therapy, you're learning to know who you are, and you set up boundaries and be like, don't cross my boundaries. I'm not going to let other people come in and walk all over me like they used to. Things definitely do change for you, and your life becomes different in a better way. But for me, when it comes to you, what makes me laugh, two things. One thing, when it comes to recording, like every single time how when I record a video, and it's like pause, like all of our videos, she has the funniest faces. Like,
The
y'all,
funniest.
there's never
Oh,
been like, and I sit like, and I download the videos to get them like edited. I'm
oh
like,
my
I'm sitting there
gosh.
like just laughing, like that was
You're
just
like,
like her
when
face
do I get a
every
good expression?
never. And even like when I used to like upload the videos myself, I always try to make sure the thumbnail, you don't look crazy, you know what I
I
mean?
know. I'd be
But
like,
it was
yo,
so her with Howard's faces, and I'm just like
I'd be like,
dying.
and I'm saying something that's like really sweet, and I have this crazy ass face. It's like,
It's like a lot of times you're just saying something really nice, and it wasn't like anything, but it's like the funniest faces
that
ever. But
is
I
so
definitely feel like
funny.
we should use one of those faces for one of our thumbnails because they're
Oh
just so
yeah, we
funny.
definitely do. We do.
Um,
We got to. That was that, and it's so funny because like I realized that when I was watching all the videos because on the Opus,
yeah.
like all the shorts that are created. And I made that observation, and then I told her, and she was like, I made that observation too. She was trying to be nice about it. But yeah, it's funny.
Yeah, and another thing that I really admire about Hawa that I take notes from when it comes to the business side of things, she's very, very like structured. So when
Hmm.
we're like taking notes together, which is a really good thing to have. Trust me, I try to take after it a
Oh
lot.
yeah,
Because sometimes I'm a little more like scattered brain, but she's very like concise. When it
yeah.
comes to taking notes, like when we're like having our meetings, and she's like, "No, I have to fix this right now. I have to do this right now. No, girl, just
It's
cross
the
it out.
Virgo in me, y'all.
Like, no, just cross it out real quick. Just cross it out real quick." So she's like very precise, and I just laugh because it's so
Yeah.
interesting and funny. But it's just like one of those little quirky things that she has that I love about her. There's so many things that I love about this woman. So
Right.
this is just a couple of things. We could go on all day.
Right. Exactly. Um, that is
Your
so
note
funny.
taking, honestly, though, is something to be inspired by. That's for sure.
My note taking, yeah, I'm like, I don't play. I'm a little OCD. That's my Virgo coming out.
The Virgo definitely coming out, and I'm sitting here like,
Definitely.
and I'm sitting here, I'm like, I'm a Virgo too. How come that?
You are a Virgo.
I think that's just my
But
only.
you know what I observed though? You're like that within your house. That's
Mhm.
something I was when I came to visit you and I was like, this girl has a system for everything in her house. How like what? But it just like makes sense. It makes her house is always spotless, it's clean, uh no stains on the couch. That was one that had me. I was like, girl,
Yeah, that's where you and I definitely like differ when it comes to like
so different. But it
business.
inspired me because then when I came home, I was like, I mean, I didn't go as far as the couch situation, but I was like,
You'll
just
never
like,
get let the couch situation go, are you?
I'm not, because I was so caught off guard. But I was like, she does this at this time, and she does, and I just like the system that you had in your house to make sure it was like clean and like
Yeah.
you were always, you had a schedule as far as like when you go walking, when you do this. So I really like that. And I started implementing some of those things. I'm like, huh, like this actually makes it a little bit easier. You know what I mean? So yeah,
You like it, but my husband be stressed out.
of
He's just
course.
like, leave me alone.
Yeah, no, I'm like, no, but the Virgo in me like was like, this is what I've been needing like my whole life. Why have I not been doing this? So it really
Yeah. And
yeah.
that's one thing I like about each other in our friendship. We always help each other out. And it's never like in like a competitive way. We always help each other like level up and think differently and move differently. And we always inspire each other. That's one thing I really, really love about each other. We're not just like go with the flow with everything all the time and just any and everything go. No, and we're very like we hold each other accountable like
Oh
to the
yeah.
T. We really do.
Yeah.
And the other day I just texted how we had a conversation the night before, and I'm sitting there like, oh, I know she's right, but I'm just like, oh. Like I know she's telling me the right stuff and she's right. And I'm like, I just don't want to hear it right now, but she's right.
I
The
know, I
next
know.
day, the next day, I texted her and I'm like, I was thinking, I'm like, I really appreciate having someone in my life who's not a yes man, who's
Yeah.
willing to be like, your shit stinks, girl, fix it. Like
Yeah,
that. So that's the kind of dynamic
definitely.
we have in holding each other accountable and like, hey, I know you're going through some stuff right now, but also at the same time, you're doing a little bit of something here. See how you can elevate. And at the end of the day, it's for the betterment of each other because we want the best for each other. So
Yeah, and also another thing is like, because we're going down this line of like just giving out all the compliments because I love my girl, but um, I realize that you've always had this part of you that is very like humble, I guess, and like really open to feedback, right? Because a lot of people, the stuff I was telling them you the other day, they
mhm,
wouldn't even be able to like sink in. You know what I mean? Like it would just go through one ear and out the other.
mhm,
And I feel like you're very humble in the way that you're like, I don't know everything and I'm always willing to learn. And you're
mhm,
always very receptive. You know what I
mhm.
mean?
You
And some
too. Yeah,
people,
you too. Mhm.
yeah, and I try to be like that, absolutely. But I've always appreciated that about you because it makes it easy for me to feel like, oh, like I can give her a little bit of feedback. She can also give me a little bit of feedback. Like I won't feel like I have to walk on eggshells or anything like that. And
Yeah.
I'm hurting her, or you know what I mean? Like, so I feel like you've always been that way. And um, but like exceptionally in that way. You know what I mean? Where it just makes it so easy to like do different things with you. You know what I mean? Like, and
Yeah,
you're very like forgiving as well. That's another thing that like I know there's a quote unquote bad side of that too, but at the end of the
I
day,
think
like, you know, we're huh? She
I
said
said
not
I was
anymore.
gonna say not anymore.
Yeah, she not
to
anymore,
you,
right?
to
But
you, I
still,
think
it's like, you know, to a certain degree, you're growing, you're learning. As a human, you have to be a little bit forgiving. And I feel like even though you've gotten a lot, you know,
hmm
switched up a little bit in that way, but you still have that in you where it's like, okay, I'm open and learning and whatnot. But yeah, I just see a lot of growth with both of us, and I think we're both blossoming in the
hmm
most beautiful ways. And who would have ever thought two
hmm
girls from Sierra Leone would be sitting here right now, you know,
yeah, I
having
would have
this type of
never.
conversation and making this impact.
Yeah, if you asked us when we were like 12 and 13 if we were going to be doing something like this, we would have been like, huh? Would have
Huh?
never thought,
What?
because there was a period in our life where we did not really communicate at all.
Yeah,
Like we
that's
didn't
true.
start communicating back until we were like adults, like my early 20s, like 20, like we said hi, you know, checked in every now and then, but it wasn't really like this. It
I
wasn't
didn't even think that we were gonna start talking with each other again, honestly.
me
At that
either.
point, I kind of
Yeah,
just like I think we both
yeah,
kind of just forgot about each other in some ways. Like,
yeah,
you know what I
yeah.
mean? Like,
We're
forgot about
all
the trips that we used to, you know, the
yeah,
times I used to come and, you know, visit you guys. Yeah.
yeah, and I think a lot of it because we were both going through a lot of stuff. we
Oh,
were
yes.
we were in high school, like middle school, high school. We were going through a lot trying to navigate our life. And I think I don't know what's going on with my parents or your parents. I don't know if they felt like don't bring them together right now. They're just each experiencing their own thing right now. Putting them together is just not going to be the best.
Yeah.
But after that, when I moved to California in the military, that's when we reconnected again.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah. All right.
Any more?
Um, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, any more of the questions? I like the fun ones. They're kind of fun.
Yeah, we can do the fun ones. And we could do a two parts of this for two videos if you want, because we have a lot.
Okay,
Um,
let's do it. I'm done.
mm, Let me see. Hold on. What is the most adventurous thing that you've ever done together as friends?
Uh, Not a lot because we don't
Yeah,
even live.
yeah,
We don't really. We've never lived in the same. Actually, there was
yeah,
one point we lived in the same state, but like opposite sides of the state. You know, like 8 hour drive, 9 hour drive from each other. Um, Shoot. I guess since it's nothing, we got to start creating some more adventurous moments.
yeah. I mean, wait, my wedding. I guess that
Oh yeah, that is true. That was that. Yeah. So
that was
she had her
definitely
wedding. She had a
I had
Famata had a what do you
a
call those weddings?
destination.
Destination wedding in
Yeah,
Mexico. So that was really fun.
yeah.
That was like, oh yeah, that had everything. It was beautiful. It was beautiful location, beautiful people. You know,
Mm-hmm.
a little bit of drama sprinkled here and there. Then there was like
A
a
little bit,
pool, and then there was
a
then
little
there
bit.
was
We won't get into details. It's fine.
we won't go into details. And then there was the at the end, everyone just like jumped into the pool. That was like so much
Oh,
fun. That
yeah.
was yeah, that was great. Yeah, so
That
that was pretty adventurous.
that was really fun. That was such a good day. You were being such a great sister that day. Just the whole
Oh
like week of you being there and before and all that and always and stuff like
yeah.
that.
Oh.
It was great. It was definitely great. All right, let me see another one. If you have any questions that you have in your mind, shoot, girl.
Okay.
Hmm. If you could, I think this one would be fun. If you could plan your ultimate friend vacation together, where would you go and why?
Oh,
I think
that's
I
fun. I'm gonna let you go. Go ahead.
know.
Start.
I think I could see how when I planning a trip and going back to Sierra Leone for two reasons.
Pick
I
mine.
mean, family, of course,
Yeah.
but also for the food. I think we would
Oh,
literally just
girl.
go and just like visit all the different restaurants and thinking about all the memories of the certain foods that we forgot about and
Yes.
hunting those foods and just have
Yes.
like a food vacation and just eat.
So, and when we come back, none of y'all should ask us if we're pregnant or anything. We're just gonna look like it, okay?
We would come back. We would come back at least 5 to 10 pounds heavier
At
and look
least.
faster.
And
We
the
would have,
thing is, the unfortunate
yeah.
part about the food in Sierra Leone, even though it's so good, it's so unhealthy. A lot of it, how they make it, that you always see people, they look like they have like pot belly, like their stomach's always
Mm-hmm.
popped out, like they actually look pregnant. So we might look like we might be a little preggo, but just
Yeah.
know we ate good.
We ate good and we're not
We
gonna.
ate good.
I
Yeah.
can definitely see us doing that and having such a good time. And it would be such a like healing, and it's a healing vacation, and also a way that we would be able to like connect to each other in a deeper level
Oh
and go
yeah.
back together and just experiencing and seeing Sierra Leone again as adults and stuff like that. I know you went like not too long ago.
Yeah, I went as an
But
adult. You went as a young girl, right? You
yeah,
were like
so
15 or something.
even yeah, now I think it would also be even more different approaching our 30s and like
Yeah.
seeing that would be
Like
different.
being grown women, like
Right.
that will be an experience. And
Yeah.
um yeah, that was gonna be my honestly my answer too, was like going back to Sierra Leone. Definitely for the food, because we constantly talk about, the different dishes that we love, and we,
Mhm.
the flavors that we remember. So of course that would be a beautiful experience. And also, just I think me and Famas, we always talk about how we want to go back and um like create some type of change in system in Sierra Leone, because really the country is very, very poor at this time. And but it has so much resources, and beautiful culture, beautiful people. So we're not sure exactly how we can make that type of impact, but that's
Mhm.
definitely something that we're interested in and we want to do. And I think going back, it inspired me to want to like really make a difference. Like
Yeah.
there's some people, I feel like there's two sets of people when they go back to visit their home country, like in Africa, at least Sierra Leone. The
Hmm.
one is like the complainers are like, why are these people like this? And why don't they do better for themselves? And they just complain about everything. And then it's like,
Hmm.
but then they're not talking about how they're in America, they're very comfortable, even though they came from that country. Now
Hmm.
they're very comfortable, and so they can say all this stuff without really thinking much about it. But
Hmm.
then they don't even want to go back and do anything to make a difference, right? Because now they have this American money,
Hmm.
they're in a different position, higher class, and they're like, why don't the governments, why don't people do this? And I'm like, well, the people who have higher education and go overseas and get higher education and get more resources, they
Hmm.
never want to come back. That's why. You know what I mean? Like, and then there's the second set of people, I think, that do want to make a difference, right? Some people don't
Yeah.
know how to make the difference, but then there's some people who do want to make a difference. They do want to go back and like invest in the country. And I feel like we're the second, we're the
Yeah.
latter. So
Oh, for sure. I mean, it's just we'll never forget about Sierra Leone. I mean,
mhm.
it's in our blood. We
Yeah,
will forever be Sierra Leoneans. We have family there. We love our country. We're gonna go back for sure.
yeah, definitely.
Um, I think we're going to end this video here.
Yeah,
And
it's a good idea.
part two. So
Okay.
stay tuned for part two.
All right.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe and share with your family and friends.
Absolutely.
But yeah, till next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye.